Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's free webinar session. Today, we're going to be discussing artificial intelligence and cybersecurity, twins of a different mother. My name is Cindy Haight. I'm very happy to be here to host the session. And we have some amazing speakers and presenters that are going to share this content to you and are available to answer your questions throughout the programming today. I initially would like to just review the agenda with you. Today, I'm going to give you a very brief overview about SGS as a company and our different service offerings, a little bit about our history. We're going to move into the content and discuss an introduction to both ISO 27001 and ISO 42001. We're going to review common goals and synergies between the two standards. We'll discuss data security and privacy in AI systems. We'll review risk management and mitigation strategies, incident response and management. Then we'll go through a conclusion. We'll discuss how we can help you. And then we're going to look forward to responding to your questions. As you'll see on your screen, we do have a Q&A section. We encourage you to type your questions there as they arise through the programming, and we look forward to responding to your questions. So here's the team that we have for you today. I would like to introduce Azeda. She is one of our pristine ISO 42001 trainers. Azeda holds a PhD in modeling of cognitive science and a master's degree in AI. With over 15 years of experience, she's been instrumental in advancing management systems within the telecom industry. As a recognized authority in the field, she's also a certified ISO 42001 lead auditor and trainer. And she's here to impart knowledge and best practices to the group here today and to everyone. Zeta is actively involved in shaping the future of AI and cybersecurity through her contributions to international projects. And we also have Willie with us today. Willie is the Global Head of Strategy and Business Development Information Security here at SGS. Willie's conducted audits to several different standards, including ISO 9001, ISO 27001, CSA STAR, ISO 27701, as well as 22301 business continuity. He's audited several multiple Fortune 100 organizations and has worked with several global certification bodies, with, of course, SGS being the best one. And he's delivered thousands of audits in the Asia Pacific region, Africa, Europe, as well as the Americas. My name is Cindy Haight. I work in the sales department here in the Business Assurance Division at SGS. I support companies who are looking to become certified to various ISO standards. I can assist with competency training for your staff, second-party audits. We have a huge variety of services to offer you, and we're happy to focus on cybersecurity and AI today. Here's a little bit of information about SGS. You can see that we have been in the industry for nearly 150 years at this point, so we're getting old. We started as a marine inspection company and have diversified into the global leader in the TIC industry, which includes testing, inspection, and certification. We have nearly 100,000 employees employed globally across the world in 2,600 offices and laboratories. So what makes SGS different from other certification bodies? We have a huge global network of industry professionals and experts that cross all different spectrums and topics. And we have our amazing team here to talk to you about cybersecurity and AI. We value our high level of quality when it comes to our service offerings for our customers. As auditors, we expect a very high level of quality from our customers, and we want to deliver the same high level of quality through our services. As I mentioned, we bring industry expertise through our amazing auditor team. We are always aspiring to be on the forefront of digital innovation, as you can see with our topic today. And we have a very high commitment from a corporate perspective to our sustainability initiatives. A little bit about business assurance. That's the division of SGS where we live. You can see we offer, of course, assessment and auditing services through our certification group. We have amazing training opportunities through SGS Academy. We offer a service called Seymour, which is to help you manage the risk in your supply chain. As I mentioned, we value our sustainability journey, and we also have services to help you establish your journey in the sustainability realm. We offer business consulting through SGS Mainpoint, and we have an entire division that can assist with medical device regulatory compliance. Oh, so we have a poll question to start things off today. So you can participate in the poll by simply clicking on the best response that matches your company. And we would like to know, are you certified to ISO 27001? I'm going to give you a few moments. If you can please select the best answer. If you're not certified, let us know. Maybe some of you are certified with SGS today. Give you just a few more minutes to reply. Thank you for participating in the poll questions. Got about half of you. A couple more people could please reply. That would be amazing. Perfect. Okay, let's take a look at our responses. Okay, so it looks like about half of you, a little more than half of you are already certified, and some of you are not, and some of you are looking and planning to get certified. Perfect. The same question I have regarding ISO 42001, which is the artificial intelligence management system standard. So if you can please reply to let us know if you are certified, if you have plans to get certified. And again, you can go ahead and click right on the letter of your answer, click right on your response, and we'll share that to the group here in just a moment. So Willie, you are in Europe, is that correct? We've got Willie is in Europe, Azetta is in Europe today.
Yes, I arrived in Paris, technically speaking, this morning at 1 o'clock. So yes, I'm in Europe.
Well, Willie's looking forward to some nice French cuisine later, I'm hoping.
Yes, of course. I mean, that's a prerequisite for getting me, enticed to travel across the Atlantic Ocean.
Okay, let's take a look at our results. Oh, okay, so some of you are certified to this standard. That's amazing. And some of you are planning to get certified. So let's get into the content here and tell you more about these standards and how they can help your business. Thanks, Willie.
Thank you very much, Cindy. This was a fantastic introduction, and thank you very much to the audience for answering those poll questions. So this slide really tells us, why do we need standards? Well, why do we need standards? Well, traveling to Europe, traveling across the Atlantic Ocean, traveling from one country to another, the pleasure of travel. This is Exhibit A, why we do need standards. On Monday and Tuesday, I was in the UK. Guess what? I needed another adapter. Here in continental Europe, I need yet another adapter. Why in the world do we need adapters? Why do we need to have different things in different countries. And that is, for me, the real reason why we do need to have international standards like ISO 27001 or ISO 42001. But what is ISO? Well, ISO is actually coming from the Greek word isos, which means equal. And so some people may say, just hold on, but it should be IOS, like International Organization of Standardization. But no, ISO, when it was founded many years ago, they intentionally selected that word as ISO, so that it is, connected to the Greek origin. And every country in the world has their representatives on those committees and those working groups. So, for example, the United States of America is represented by ANSI, and then Germany is represented by the Deutsche Institut für Normung, and so on and so forth. And when we are coming together on those working groups and committees, it's really important that those different opinions are being discussed and figured out what is the best solution from an international perspective. And sometimes, yes, sometimes we are arguing, discussing, negotiating over an hour or two, just a single word. And for me, the example would be, a couple of months ago, we were talking about auditing virtual organizations. Guess what? One of the non-native speakers finally says, excuse me, I do have a question. Why are we talking about non-existing organizations that should be audited? And then the native speakers said, just hold on, what are you talking about? And the non-native speaker said, well, when I look in the dictionary, virtual means non-existing. So we are talking about auditing non-existing organizations. Why would we do that? Well, the compromise was to talk about auditing organizations with a remote workforce. And that is, for me, the example that sometimes we are using casually words that are not really precise and correct. And then in those committees, we are finding the best solution. And that is just an example. So talking and working in these committees is absolutely crucial to find the best solution from a global perspective so that we avoid these issues of the adapters I mentioned earlier. So today we would like to talk about a quick introduction to ISO 27001 and 42001. And Asade will explain to us what are the objectives and the scope for 27001, respectively for 42001, and why it is so important to really integrate the ISMS and the AIMS. Why is this so important to integrate the AI management system into the information security management system, or should I say, integrate them together? That said, I would like to hand it over to my good friend Asade. Please go ahead.
Thanks a lot, Willy. Thank you, everyone, for participating in this webinar. ISMS is a comprehensive standard designed for effectively managing information security within an organization. It encompasses a wide variety of components, each playing a crucial role in safeguarding sensitive information. ISMS facilitates the creation of information security policies. These policies outline the organization's overall approach to managing and protecting information, serving as a foundation of all security activity. They are essential for establishing a clear direction and a set of expectations regarding information security within the organization. ISMS defines information security objective and procedures. Objectives are specific goals that an organization aims to achieve regarding information security, and procedures provide the step-by-step methods for achieving those objectives. Information security planning is another key aspect of ISMS. This involves assessing risk, determining necessary controls, and allocating resources effectively to mitigate potential security threats. It allows organizations to proactively manage their information security posture rather than reaching to incident as they occur. So it is important to implement the information security control that mentioned in the standards. In addition, an ISMS promotes information assurance. This is about ensuring that information is reliable, accurate, and protected from unauthorized access or alternations. And ISMS emphasizes information security improvement. This allows continuity monitor and reviewing security practices, identify area of improvements and enhancement, and adapting to because it's a ever evolving trend landscape, so it's adapted to that. And organizations that prioritize improvement can maintain a robust security posture and respond effectively to emerging risks. The interconnected nature of these policy process and procedures allows organizations to operate in a trusted environment. This means they can produce products or services that not only meet their operational goals, but also satisfy the security needs of all interested parties. And ISMS or artificial management systems is a globally accepted standard, specifically designed for AI. As AI continues to play an increasing role in various industries, the need for a structured approach to manage AI system has become important. This standard provides organizations with a comprehensive framework to ensure effective and responsible AI environment. First of all, this standard outlined the requirement for establishing, implementing, maintaining, and continually improving an AI management system with the context of organization. This means that organizations need to take a proactive approach to develop their AI capabilities, ensuring that they are not only effective, but also ethical and aligned with the regulatory standards. By following these standards, organizations can manage a risk associated with the AI technology while also maximizing their potential benefit. A key aspect of this standard is the AI management system should be integrated with the organization process and overall management structure, such as other standards, ISMS. If you have already ISMS in your company, it should be integrated with that standards. And this is the goals and objective of these two standards. But there are some common goals and synergy between these two standards. First, both emphasize data security and integrity. ISO 27001 ensure data confidentiality, integrity, and availability through security controls, while ISO 42001 focus on quality and ethical use of data. How data produced is the data of good quality, no bias, about protecting model, and if the model is transparent decision-making, but together they make sure that the data used in AI is both secure and reliable. ISO 27001 deals with the traditional information security risks such as data breaches or unauthorized access, while ISO 42001 address AI-specific risks like bias, lack of transparency, or the algorithm is not good enough, the performance of the systems. By combining these two perspectives of both standards, we create a holistic approach of a risk management that cover all possible vulnerabilities, from data leaks to AI fairness, for example. Another key aspect is trust and transparency. ISO 27001 builds stakeholders' trust by ensuring that data is properly protected. Meanwhile, ISO 42001 focus on transparency in AI decision-making, explaining how AI model work and ensuring they are used ethically. When we integrate these two standards, we create a trustworthy environment for both data and AI operations. We also see that, for example, incident management is another perspective that we are going to discuss about it in more detail in the following slides. And for example, consider a healthcare AI system for a diagnostic decision-making. ISO 27001 ensure that a sensitive patient data is kept secure, while ISO 42001 make use data. The data used should be good quality. It should be not unbiased, and the combination of these AI and security is effectively secure the whole systems. Another similarity between these two standards is about the PDCA cycle, also known as the Deming cycle. Is a four-step iterative process for continual improvement of a process, product, or system. It consists of four key phases. This cycle is common in both standards. It consists of four phases: plan, do, check, act. Both ISO 27001 and ISO 42001 employ this cycle to maintain and improve their respective management system, but in a different. So I will explain more about the differences. For a plan, both establish policy, objectives, targets, controls, process, and procedure. In a do part, implement and operate controls, process, and procedures. In a check, process are monitored and measured against policies, objectives, targets, and requirements. And in act phases, actions are taken to continually improve the process. In ISO 27001, the PDCA cycle helps in building and maintaining robust information security management. For example, in a plan, involve establishing information security objective and policies, understanding the organizational risk, and dealing security requirement. In a do phases, during the do phase, organizations implement the chosen information security control and carry out mitigation strategies. This also involves putting the security policies, procedure, and process. In this do phase, process is, as you can see in slides, implement this process. And for check, the organization monitor and review their ISMS to ensure effectively mitigate the risk. And act the phase in ISO 27001, it's taking corrective actions based on the findings from the check phase. This may involve updating security policies or improving control mechanism and making changes to address any identified gaps. For ISO 42001, which focus on more artificial intelligence management systems, planning involves defining AI governance strategy, AI policies, objective for ethical AI use, or models. Organization identify specific risks related to AI. In do phase, involve developing, deploying, and operating, for example, in an AI model or AI management systems. And for check phase in AI management systems, most emphasize on monitoring the systems for performance and compliance. And in an act involving adjusting the AI management system and process based on a finding from the check phase. And both standards have these structures for continual improvement. And So another key similarity is emphasizing on continuous feedback, that both standards encourage organizations to learn from incidents, audits, and assessments, and use the information to improve their systems, to improve both systems. Okay, and another perspective of this ISMS and the ISO 27001, you can see in this chart, there are very similar, but some of the phases you need to define it specifically for an AI management system or information security system. You can see the gray one, you need to specify it for that domain. In the context of AI, data risks are significant because the performance of an AI models directly depend on the quality, integrity of the data it's trained on. Because of all of the AI management system is trained based on the data. So the quality and integrity of that data is very important. And if the data breaches happen, for example, it may some sensitive data exposed and leading privacy violations. Another key risk is a data bias. It's if bias or unrepresented data is used for training, AI model can show biased behavior, which can negatively affect decision making and leads to discriminatory outcomes. There are also the risk of a data poisoning, where malicious actors tamper with the data to influence the model's behavior, or for example, another aspect of a data security is safeguarding the data throughout the whole life cycle of for example, acquiring the data pre-processing to the training data, testing data, or and then when there is no need for the data. So we need to ensure the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of the data in a life cycle of data. And AI system often rely on a big amount of data. It's a large volume of data, personal data, which makes privacy protection is needed. And we need to get for example, consent based on, for example, GDPR. And if it's possible, minimize the data. If it's not, use data anonymizations or other techniques to change the data, and put some other controls to mitigate the risk of that privacy data. Unlike traditional IT system, AI system present unique challenges and risks that need tailored approach. ISO 42000 provide a framework for addressing these unique risks, like a bias that we discussed is a major concern. It can stem from training data leading to unfair outcome or discriminations. To address this, organization need to continuously evaluate the data and the model, and of course the output. Safety and reliability are also critical. AI model needs to be reliable and perform as intended, even under unforeseen circumstances. This includes a stress testing model to understand their behavior, for example. ISO 42001 emphasizes that the organization must have a process in place to identify potential bias areas, safety concern, and ensure reliability. So while ISO 42001 focus only on an AI-specific issue, we can leverage the robust risk management principle of ISO 24001 to enhance AI system security. These controls can help ensure the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of a data and AI model. Confidentiality means to maintain, in order to maintain the confidentiality, our organization must ensure that the training data, model parameter, and deployed AI model are protected from unauthorized access. This can be done by implementing a strong, for example, encryption method, both for data at rest and transit, by limiting access only to those that need access. And for the integrity, ensuring that the data used by AI system is accurate and not tampered with. Data poisoning attacks, for example, one of the risks where malicious actors manipulate trading data to alter model behavior or availability. The availability of AI system is essential, particularly for mission-critical application that must operate continuously. Threats such as DOS attack, denial of service attacks, can render an AI system unavailable, disrupting business operation. To mitigate such a risk, organization can use redundancy strategies, create backup system, implement robust network security measure to protect against those attacks, and that aim to disrupt system availability. The goal is to ensure that the AI management system remain accessible when needed and can withstand any potential threats. So we discussed about incident a little bit, but as more organizations start using AI in their work, it is important to have a strong plan for responding to any issue or incident that may arise. Well-defined incident responses plan outline the procedure to follow when an incident occurs, ensuring a timely, effectively response. This structured approach is essential for maintaining damage and ensuring that incidents are managed in a controlled manner. So organizations should periodically review and update their incident response plan to incorporate lessons learned from previous incident and changes in the technology or business process. Incident management is common in both standards, and so if you have already information security management system established in your company and you have it already, you can use it in an AI management system, but you need to make sure that some of the AI incidents are different. I mean, the nature of the incidents are different from the more security incidents, but the whole process can be used, and you need to integrate it with the AI management systems. So you need to, for example, some of the AI specific incidents, like as mentioned here, model misbehavior that provide incorrect or biased result due to degraded model accuracy or unexpected output because AI system behaved unpredictability, perhaps due to unintended interactions between components or ethical violations. In order to respond these kind of incidents, you need to have a comprehensive plan. As I mentioned, if you have it already, you can use it. And it is important to continuously improve in incident response and management. And your organization may conduct regular training for that. Training helps you, for incident response team, including AI-specific scenarios. These simulations help you practice the response and potential incidents and ensure that you are well prepared for real situations. And so with a comprehensive incident response plan, you will, when incidents happen, you know what to do. So it's very important. So we discussed about both standards and the common goals and synergy between these two standards. and what was the data security and privacy in AI systems, about the risk management and mitigation strategies, and incident response and management. So I think back to Sydney. Can you hear me, Sydney?
Yes,
actually,
hi, thank you. Thank you so much.
If you don't mind, I would like to go back to the previous slide, to the conclusions. So as Azadeh said absolutely correctly, many, if not most processes can be shared, should be shared, must be shared between the ISMS and the AIMS. For example, the incident management process, right? Or the internal audit process, the risk management process. Yet those processes will have distinct aspects that need to be considered. So while the process is the same, the input and the output will be different depending whether we look at a risk from an incident, from an information security perspective, or from an AI perspective. So for example, when I'm thinking about toxicity, so in other words, using foul language or bad language, that's not a risk in an information security system. But yes, in an AI system, it's definitely something that needs to be considered. Or when I'm thinking about a large language model where the model is processing prompts and the inputs from users, well, there's a risk in terms of the user might enter questions that are not appropriate. Well, there is the concept of railguarding. That is a kind of stuff that is not being considered in information security, right? So incident management process will be the same, but there will be differences in terms of what kind of incidences we might expect. And then there's also the newer concept in terms of impact assessment in an AI that needs to be considered, or should I say for the AI management system. So I truly believe that both must be integrated. The information security management system must be integrated into the AI management system. But that said, an organization is really advised to consider that the risks might be different, the incidences might be different, there might be different controls, different solutions. And that is a little bit complex, but I think by integration, we will be able to really see a big synergy effect between having those two standards implemented. That said, thank you very much, and I would like to hand it over to Cindy.
Thank you very much, Willie. Thank you, Azadeh. I would like to just share a couple of questions from our audience. If you have an existing QMS, like a quality management system, can you use that as a foundation for building your ISMS or your AI security systems?
Yes. Yes, you can. And the most important tools in your toolbox are the internal audit and the corrective action process. So just imagine you have an established quality management system, for example, certified to ISO 9001. Then you have that process that is called internal audits, and you have that process that is called corrective actions, or generically speaking, improvement process, right? So now, instead of doing an internal audit against the requirements of ISO 9001, you would do an internal audit against the requirements of 27001, respectively 42001. And yes, unfortunately, you will have many, many non-conformances, but that's okay, because you have the process that is called corrective action, and then you will implement the suitable actions to then bootstrap, so to speak, the implementation of a 27K, respectively 42001 system. I trust that helps. Any comments from your side, Azadeh?
Yeah, exactly. They can use it because they have a management systems established. So the general structure are similar, but you need to go more specific on data standards. Exactly, I totally agree. It is possible.
I mean, for example, I'm just making up an example. Let's say the internal audit process that is established in ISO 9000 system is identifying that there needs to be an internal audit for the ISMS or the AIMS. Well, most likely there will be the non-conformance that says the internal audit did not consider the specifics of ISO 42001. Okay, that's fine, wonderful. There's a non-conformance. Now the corrective action process will help us to implement and adjust the internal audit process now to also include the specifics of the 42001 system. Cindy, any other questions from the audience?
Yeah, so there are various risk management tools out there in the management systems world. Are there any specific risk management tools that you recommend be utilized that would help, discover these areas for improvements? And do you have any recommendations from that perspective?
As a certification body, SGS cannot and will not recommend specific technical solutions. That would be considered conflict of interest. However, I would like to point out that there are ISO standards, what a surprise, that could be potentially be used. So ISO 31000 comes to my mind, ISO 27006 comes to my mind, and SRD is obviously very familiar with the applicable risk assessment for AI systems. Unfortunately, I forgot the number, but there's also a very specific risk assessment standard for AI.
Excellent.
Yeah, they can use an annex of ISO 42001 to. They have some source of a risk. It can that regard it can help people. So yeah, there are some other frameworks that for a risk assessment, like an ISD risk management framework, that they can use it for AI.
Excellent. So one of our audience members asked, is SGS certified for assessing and certifying the conformity of medical devices employing AI?
I would be not able to answer that question, but first of all, SGS would be not certified to do something like that. We would be a notified body, and to the best of my knowledge, right now there is no notified body for assessing AI within medical devices. But we do know that there is a requirement coming out of the EU AI Act addressing the notified body aspect. And without going into details, I'm pretty sure that sooner or later we will have a positive answer to that.
Okay, very good. Here's another excellent question. Is there support for startups in the AI space to help them get prepared for certification?
Well, there's support for any organization to prepare for certification, regardless whether startup or multi-billion-dollar companies or mom and pop shops working out of the garage. So the most important support we can provide is obviously helping people to understand what are the actual requirements of the standard or standards in this particular case. And if I'm not mistaken, we are sharing with the audience right now a slide addressing the SGS Academy. And SGS Academy is one of the functions we have here at SGS, providing a multitude of different classes, helping people to understand what is a management system, why is governance important, why does certification provide the necessary or provides assurance that there is something in control in place, and at the same time helping organizations and individuals understanding the specific requirements of the standards so that they can get back to their companies and implement those management systems. So I highly recommend to have a look at those offerings of our SGS Academy, whether this is related to ISO 27001, whether this is related to ISO 42001. So please have a look at our website. Thank you.
Yeah, and as Willie mentioned, we do have the Training Academy that offers all of this training for you. You can go ahead and scan the QR code on the screen, whether you're based in the US or in Canada, and that'll bring you right to the course listings and that are offered through SGS Academy. So are there considerations for like country-specific or industry-specific considerations when you're determining organizational risks?
Yes. Let's make a hypothetical example. Let's say you are a company working in South Africa and only working in South Africa. Would you be interested, or would you be concerned about the EU AI Act? Well, it depends. If you have customers in the EU, yes, of course, then you should be familiar with the EU AI Act. But on the other hand, if you are, inverted commas, just doing business within South Africa, and 100% of your clients are located in South Africa and 100% of the users are located in South Africa, then you're not concerned about the EU AI Act. And one of the risks that should be and must be identified in a management system is the risk of non-compliance to regulatory and legal requirements. So therefore, by definition, that risk for a South African company would not exist of not complying with EU AI Act, right? And then there could be differences in terms of the application. If I'm using a vision system to identify people, or should I say, to differentiate people from dogs and cats, that's a different application than identifying people as in assigning a face to a name, or let alone to a national identifier. So the risks depend also upon the application of the solution, not just the solution in itself. I can see that a vision system that is just being used to identify whether, I don't know, hands are in a particular area, you know, a light curtain kind of thing to protect the operators in a machine. That vision system has a different risk than a vision system that identifies or reads QR codes. So again, it really depends, the risk profile and the risks really depend upon the application and where they are being used, in what geographic area, and for what kind of use cases. Asadi, want to address that as well?
Exactly. It depends on locations, the regulation that that they need to follow for that region, or if they have a customer in that region, and even for some industries, they need to, for example, the sensitivity of the data or privacy of the data is different. So yeah, it depends on situations and regions. Yeah, exactly.
Thank you. So is there like an order for all of this? Like, would you recommend being certified to ISO 27001 and then adding ISO 42001, or would you recommend implementing them in concert at the same time? Do you have any comments or advice from that perspective?
No, not really, because that really depends upon the need of the organization, and the need of the organization is most likely coming from their customers. So if an organization is heavily involved in a medical device, or in using vision systems to identify, I don't know, different kinds of cancers, versus an organization that is in, I don't know, health and safety monitoring. It really depends on the organization and their customer needs, what kind of needs they have. Traditionally, I would expect that many organizations are already certified to ISO 27001, as we have seen in the poll, right? So more than half of the attendants are working for organizations that are already 27001 certified. So for them, it's totally easy to go for ISO 42000 as well. But at the same time, I can easily see that it's okay for some organizations to just go for 42001 because that's the high need they have right now. So that's absolutely cool. So I see there's also a question in terms of, could you please send me the slide deck? Yes, of course. The slide deck will be shared with the audience after the webinar in form of the PDF. That's normal standard modus operandi here at SGS. And obviously that will take place. I also see a question, bear with me, in terms of, is there a separate CE mark required along with the MDR CE for manufacturers selling medical devices employing AI? Again, I'm not coming from the medical device function of SGS. I'm not aware of it, so sorry, I'm not able to answer that question. But maybe, Cindy, you can clarify that with our MedDev team and go back to the person who asked that via a personal email exchange.
Absolutely. I can definitely get back to you on that question. I just wanted to kind of move forward here to just give you some more tools that are available through SGS. We have an amazing YouTube channel. You can scan that QR or you can look for us under SGS North America. But these webinar recordings will be posted there, speeches from different industry engagements, live events, all kinds of different content is available there for you to enjoy, and we encourage you to do that. There's lots of information there. I did want to share our contact information for the three of us. So if you have any outstanding questions or anything, if you need some clarity on any of the topics, you can please feel free to reach out to any of us. If you have specific questions about the training services, or if you're interested in talking about the certification process, feel free to reach out to myself or to Willie anytime. I don't think we have any more questions in the queue. If you guys have any other outstanding questions, please feel free to post those as we round up the session today. Willie, do you have any other comments for our group as we prepare to close the session today?
Yes. I'm really surprised that this question didn't show up, because usually there is the question, how long does it take to get certified and how much does it cost? So apparently that is not of the concern of the current audience, but usually that is the question, or one of the questions. So let's assume that would have been a question asked by this audience as well. So how long does it take? Well, it really depends of how mature the organization is. The standard has only been published, so ISO 42001 has only been published less than a year ago. And yes, we have already multiple organizations certified to the standard. So it doesn't really take that long. 27K, from own personal experience, I can share with you, it may take a couple of months to get certified, but also not that long. It really depends upon the maturity of the organization. And then in terms of how much does it cost? Well, again, it depends. So the fundamental measure of duration of an audit is based upon either 27006, respectively ISO 42006, which also has not been published yet. And these are the standards that tell us, the certification body, how much time we would need to spend at an organization. And fundamentally, the number of people as well as the complexity of the respective systems will then drive that. But please allow me to share with you that the cost of certification, meaning the cost you would pay to SGS, are minute compared to the cost of the implementation of such a system, which would be then the internal cost, either in form of the salaries of the people working on those projects, respectively the amount of money you would need to share, would need to pay to consultants that would potentially help you. Following up with Cindy's reference to contacting us via email, I also would like to encourage you to reach out to us on LinkedIn and connect with us either individually, respectively on the SGS LinkedIn web on the channel. We are always happy to help and support, but please do understand that we must not and will not provide very specific solutions, because that would be considered consulting, and we will not do that. Thank you. Azadeh, any final thoughts from your side?
I think it's a very good moment that everyone's if they have any AI management systems, they start deploying these standards, using that standards, and if they want to know more about it, we have some trainings, upcoming trainings in this month. So we are happy if they want to join us with that training.
Talking about which, Azadeh, when is the training exactly? What days?
It's in October. It's the 23rd, I guess. But
excellent.
Let's see. Yeah.
So if anyone in the audience is interested, please reach out to the SGS Academy for details. And we would be more than happy and delighted to help and support. I know that our good friend Miran from the SGS Academy is also on the call. So Miran would be more than happy to help and support any increase from the audience concerning additional training with regard to 42001.
Yeah.
Yes,
it's
that's
from,
right. And
October. Yeah. Sorry, it's from 22 of October till 23rd of October, and it's open. They can register. Yeah. Thank you. Sorry, Sydney. Continue.
No. That's exactly correct. That's what I was going to say as well. And this is a 2-day course covering the requirements of the ISO 42001 standard. Yep. So please feel free to email me if you have interest in that. We have the ISO 27001 training as well. If you need information on the transition to the 2022 revision, we also are offering that training. And also we're offering a gap analysis if anybody does need kind of like a mark on how you're doing in your transition. Please reach out to me. We have all of these services available to you. We will be sending out a link to today's session, the recording of today's session, probably come out tomorrow or the next day, but you will receive that information. We do ask that you please click on our survey and participate. Please give us your feedback, any comments, and tell us how we did, any information that we can use to improve our services and processes and webinars. We really appreciate your input. Thank you again for being here. And I think we are good to wrap up. Thank you. You guys want to say anything? Final goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Au revoir.
Thank you so much.
Au revoir. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Bye.